Hey everyone. You know, it's kind of hard to believe that. Hold on for a second. Let me make sure this is tilted, right? Yeah, there we go. Well, like I said, it's kind of hard to believe that tonight starts the 2015 NCAA men's basketball tournament. And, well, pretty much, if you follow the tournament, you pretty much know that tonight begins the tournament, like I said, with the first four. Now, personally for me, I have a bit of a problem with the first four before I talk about a little of the brackets. When I look at the first four, folks, I look at something that should really be revamped and rethought of. I mean, I understand giving multiple teams opportunities to be in the tournament and to at least say, hey, they got a tournament win, no matter what seeding they're fighting for, what position or team they're fighting for, playing for to play against. But when it comes to the 16 seeds, the 15 and the 14s, well, mostly the 16 seeds, it's almost guaranteed in a sense that all you're doing with the 16 seed, no matter who it is, no matter what the position is in the tournament, all you're doing is feeding that 16 seed. All you're doing is getting ready to feed that 16 seed to the number one seed that you got. Like tonight, the first matchup is Hampton and Manhattan. The winner will face Kentucky on Thursday. Yeah. On Thursday in Louisville, and pretty much a home field advantage for Kentucky. So you're pretty much just saying, okay, Hampton, okay, Manhattan, you guys are in the tournament, 16 seed's going to get a victory, that's fine and everything, but oh, by the way, the winner has to face Kentucky, the overall number one seed. Yeah. Now, we all know 16 seeds in recent years have done what they can to, give the number one seeds a run for the money. We pretty much know that. But the thing is, even when a 16 seed gives the number one seed a run for the money, the 16 seed always ends up losing. Now, that isn't a bad thing in the long run. It's just more along the lines of why would you even want to do that to a 16 seed? Either they have a good close game in a losing effort, or they do the impossible. Why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense. So to me, when I look at it more along the lines of, if you're going to do this first four, then do it with more legitimate seeds that have a chance. Go with the 12, between 12 and 6 is what I would do. Let the teams at the 12 seed fight it out to face the number 5 seed. Let the teams that are ranked at let the teams in the number 11 seeds fight it out for the right to face the number 4 seed. Or the number 6 seed, I should say. Let the number 10 seeds fight it out to see who faces the number 7 seed. Or let a number 7 seed fight it out. Or whatever. Just to me, I think more along the lines between 12, 11, and 10, and maybe 9 are the more legitimate teams that should be fighting for this opportunity. 16 to 13, not really. Because those teams, yeah, they can upset people and everything, but those teams should automatically just get in because a majority of the time, a 16 to 13 seed doesn't advance. A majority of the time, huge percentage of the time, a 16 to 13 seeds between the 16 and 13 seeds, they don't advance. They don't really advance at all. I mean, some do, and that's a miracle. There's been number 15 teams that have knocked out number 2 teams. There have been 4 teams that have knocked out number 3s, and 13s knocking out number 4s. But the thing is, the majority of the time, though, that percentage is very low compared to the percentage of them getting knocked out. So to me, I think the more realistic approach, in my opinion, when you're going with a first 4 deal, is to go with teams that you're going to seed or share the seeding of a 12 and a 12 and a 9. You know, that's what you should do. Makes it more realistic. It shows that these teams are fighting almost from the very beginning for a shot to become the national champion, and they're teams that are more believable of being capable of doing that. But again, that's just my opinion. That's the way I see it. Now, as far as the tournament goes, I look at the West and Midwest regions as being the toughest ones out there. And it's not because I live on the West Coast or I lived in the Midwest. It's just a fact. I mean, you take a look at Kentucky. They've got whoever wins between Manhattan and Hampton tonight. Then you got Cincinnati and Purdue. The winner of that obviously is going to face Kentucky. Then you got West Virginia against Buffalo. You got Maryland and Valparaiso. You got Butler in Texas. You got Notre Dame in Northeastern. You got Wichita State, Indiana, and Kansas, New Mexico State. See, and that right there proves, and that's what the upper half of and that's the Midwest region. That proves the Midwest is wide open because you're putting Wichita State against Indiana with the possibility of knowing that Indiana could upset the Shockers, face Kansas, or even New Mexico State knocking off Kansas. Then you take a look at the West region. You got Wisconsin against Coastal Carolina. You got Oregon against Oklahoma State. You got Arkansas Wofford, North Carolina Harvard. You got Xavier taking on the winner of Mississippi BYU. You got Baylor against Georgia State, VCU against Ohio State, Arizona against Texas Southern. That proves right there that just like the Midwest, the matchups are more unpredictable at times depending on the seedings. Then when you get to the East region, you got Villanova Lafayette, North Carolina State LSU, Northern Iowa Wyoming, you got Louisville UC Irvine, you got Providence against the winner of Boise State Dayton, you got Oklahoma Albany, you got Michigan State Georgia, you got Virginia Belmont. And that might be an interesting bracket there, a regional bracket there, but that's not as tough as the other two that I've just mentioned. And then you take a look at the South region. You got Duke taking on the winner of North Florida and Robert Morris. You got San Diego State against St. John's. You got Utah SF Austin. You got Georgetown East Washington. You got SMU UCLA. You got Iowa State UAB, Iowa Davidson, Gonzaga, and North Dakota State. And again, as intriguing as that region is, it's not as compelling as the Midwest and the West. To me, it just doesn't have that unpredictability. It really doesn't. I mean, again, like I said, it just doesn't have that unpredictability. I mean, in a sense, when you think about it, the women's bracket might be more intriguing than the men's bracket this year, as crazy as that sounds. But those are your matchups when it comes to the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Like I said, the only interesting and probably unpredictable regions that are going to be hard to even predict and prepare for are the West and the Midwest. That's the whole thing. They're going to be the hardest to predict for. Now, overall though, will this NCAA basketball tournament be one of the best this year? I think from the Midwest and West region it's going to be. And that's pretty much where I feel we're going to get our national champion, is from the West or Midwest region. I know Kentucky's favored, but you know what? I don't think they're going to win it. I think it's going to be a team out of there that you're going to least expect, but it's going to be a team out of the top 5. Yeah, it's going to be out of the top 5 of one of the regions. That's who it's going to be. That's who it's going to be. It's either going to be between one of the top 5 out of the Midwest, or one of the top 5, basically out of the top 10 of of both regions. Let's put it that way. It's going to be the top 10 teams, the top 5 out of the West and the top 5 out of the Midwest. One of those 10 is going to win the national championship. I just get this feeling. It's not because Kentucky right now is favored to win it all. No. I just get this feeling it's going to be somebody, we just don't know what. I'm not saying it's going to be Kansas because I lived in Lawrence. No. But it's going to be somebody that we least expect. Now, obviously, the favorites out of those two regions are Kansas, are Kentucky, and I think, who else? Wisconsin, I think, is another one. Wisconsin, those are the top 3 I look at. Arizona is up there too, but to me, it's going to be someone we least expect out of the top 10, 10 teams that get the furthest in that tournament in their regions. It's going to be the top 10, one of the top 10 against one of the top 10 out of those other 2 regions, the East and the South. But again, that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion on it, folks. But overall, those are your matchups for the NCAA tournament, which officially starts tonight with the first 4, which I still feel needs to be revamped and worked and be given more of a legitimacy than what it has right now. I mean, no offense to the teams that are in it. No offense. But I think you guys would agree you need more legitimacy to the first 4 than just saying, okay, 16 Manhattan and 16 Hampton. Let's have you guys battle it out to see who becomes the sacrificial lamb to Kentucky. Or, okay, Northern Florida, okay, Robert Morris, let's see who battles it out to become the sacrificial lamb to Duke. It just doesn't make sense to me. It seems unfair. Yeah, it gives the number 16 team, an NCAA win, but come on, honestly, you're battling it out just to become cannon fodder? I don't think so. I think, in all honesty, they need to revamp the first 4, but that's just my opinion. Hopefully they will. But that's just my take on the NCAA tournament. You guys let me know what you think down below. Are you looking forward to the tournament starting tonight? And who do you think will be the top 10 teams out of all 4 regions combined? Who do you think will be the top 10 out of both the West and Midwest and the East and South to almost have a legit chance of being the national champion? Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. I would like to hear from you, and I'll talk to y'all later.